Hey guys, welcome back to Ace Recaps. Today I'm going to explain a 2023 Malayalam horror romance film titled Neelavelecham. It's the year 1964, and on the day of the full moon, a thief is seen sneaking into an abandoned mansion. As he looks around the yard, he spots a woman in white that evaporates into thin air, and the thief bolts out of there. A few weeks later, Rahul, a published writer, strolls into the village. He unloads all of his luggage, unlocks the gate, and walks around the home he's rented out for the next few months, unaware that the house is plagued by a mysterious ghost. The mansion is covered in cobwebs as no one's lived there in ages, and he checks out all the rooms and amenities of the house. He even notices that one of the rooms has been locked. He goes around the village, and at the local restaurant, requests them to deliver food to his house, but they all seem to be terrified of the place. Their entire conversation is overheard by Vikram, the lord of the village. Later, Rahul goes to visit some of his friends in the village and invites them to live with him in the mansion as he's all alone there. When they come to know that he's rented out the haunted mansion, they all freak out. They claim that many years ago, an unnatural death took place in that house. Ever since then, the mansion was shut down, and the only thing living there now is a bloodthirsty ghost. Due to a broken heart, Neha, the woman living there, threw herself in the well and passed away. She was the most beautiful woman in the village and fell in love with her neighbor Raj, who fled the town and never returned. When she came to know that Raj married someone else, she wasn't able to bear the pain and jumped into the well. Ever since then, her spirit hates all men, and everyone in the village is terrified to even go near the house. His friends warn him not to go back there and invite him to stay over for the night, but Rahul claims that the woman will understand a lover just like herself as he recently had his heart broken too. Late at night, he walks back over to his place and introduces himself to the spirit by talking into the well. He claims to have spent all his savings on the house and pleads with her to not harm him. "Hey ghost, I'm broke and lonely, so please don't haunt me. We can be besties and write ghost stories together." Rahul frightenedly enters the house, puts on some music, and decides to draw some water from the well. As he's doing so, we see Neha sitting right across from him. Listening to every word he speaks, Rahul continues to write his book but decides to change the storyline to the events that took place in the house. He soon goes off to bed, and we see things randomly move around the room as the spirit reads his diary. Early next morning, Rahul goes back into the village, and everyone seems to be curious about the events of the previous night. The restaurant owner claims that Vikram, the lord of the village, was Neha's cousin and had plans on marrying her. Unfortunately, this is when she fell in love with her neighbor. The man warns him to be careful of the cursed place as her spirit still wanders around the house. She fell in love with her neighbor instead of her cousin? I am absolutely shocked. Later that day, he goes back home and continues to work on his book. Suddenly, he hears a noise in the backyard and runs down with a knife to check it out. He notices a stick through one of the windows. He breaks down the locks of Neha's room and finds a box that the thief was trying to steal using the stick. He walks around the room and figures out more details about the woman. As he sleeps for the night, a man walks into the mansion and spots a woman in white. Hearing the screams, Rahul wakes up and rushes down to find the man choking. Rahul takes pity on him and gives him some water. Suresh claims that he was just looking around for a job when a woman attacked and choked him. Rahul decides to help the man out and requests Neha to let the man live there so he can help clean up the place. The next morning, both of them are seen cleaning up the house and garden. Rahul goes back into the village to fetch some food for the both of them. As Suresh awaits his arrival, he hears a woman singing inside the house, and a black cat comes his way and starts hissing at him. He requests the woman to call out to the cat, and it soon walks away and leaves him alone. The next day, Rahul decides to clean out the well because of the overgrown weed around it. As he climbs down the well with the help of Suresh, the rope slips, and Rahul falls into the water. Suresh screams out to him, but he isn't able to spot his boss. He rushes into the village and cries out to the people that Rahul fell into the well and drowned. He claims that he heard the bangles of a woman but she never came out of the house. When he finds out that the house is haunted, he passes out, only to wake up and find Rahul alive and well. Rahul says that he did in fact drown, and as he was sinking to the bottom of the well, he felt someone hold him in his arms and slowly carry him back up out of the well. He woke up by the side of the well a few moments later, having no recollection of how he got there. A mysterious force saved him? Totally didn't see that coming. Frightened by the news, Suresh decides to move on from the place and never come back. Rahul spends the next few weeks at the mansion all by himself. He works on his book, sits by the beach, and dreams about the love of his life who broke his heart. Struck by depression and loneliness, one night, Rahul decides to end it all by walking into the ocean. As he's doing so, Neha stops him by appearing in front of him for the first time. Who needs therapy when you can have a one-on-one session with a ghost in a haunted mansion? Self-care. Rahul self-care. Back at home, Rahul breaks into the chest he found in her room. He finds a diary and a picture of the woman and places it by his bedside. He soon hears someone singing in the backyard and spots Neha on the swing calling out to him. As he goes out looking for her, the woman decides to play a game of hide and seek around the mansion. Every time he follows her voice, she disappears into another room. A few pages from her diary light up in flames, and Rahul finds a newspaper cutout that states an unidentified body was found on a train in a nearby city. Rahul decides to investigate further and spends the next few days asking people around the village about the incidents that took place a few years ago. Everyone loved Neha and is clueless as to why she'd take such a tragic step. Late one night, he hears a commotion and runs out into his garden to check it out, only for someone to throw a knife at him, making him suspect that Neha was in fact murdered. As a sign that he's on the right track, the entire house starts glowing in a blue light. When he enters his room, Neha shows him the true story of what really went down. Raj was a well-known instrumentalist and choreographer in the village. As a college fest was coming up soon, Neha and her friends decide to ask her neighbor Raj to help them out with the dance. As she performs for the college fest, her cousin Vikram is seen warning people not to look at her as she belongs to him. After the performance, all of them have dinner together, and we see both of them catch feelings for each other. Late at night, they stand by the wall and talk to each other all night long. As a few weeks go by, both of them spend all their time together and fall deeper in love with each other. They write letters to one another, cuddle around the beach, and a few months down the line decide to get married. One day, as Vikram goes by her house, he spots a love letter placed on the wall. He goes up to Raj and threatens him to stay away from Neha as he plans to marry her. He then goes to Neha and asks for her hand in marriage, but she just breaks his heart. One night, as Raj is walking all alone through the forest, somebody fires a gun at him but misses. He takes shelter behind a large tree and luckily evades the shooter, but he wasn't able to spot who it was. Fearing for his life, the next day at the library, Raj tells Neha that he's going to move to the city soon, and the second he finds a place to live, he'd come back and take her with him. This entire conversation was overheard by Vikram. At the train station, Vikram approaches Raj and claims to be traveling to the same place as him as he's got a job in the city. He offers up a bag of fruits that was given to him by Neha. On the train, as Raj eats the bananas, he starts choking as it was injected with a poison. Vikram covers him with a blanket and jumps off the train, leaving him for dead. Neha spends the next few months wondering why Raj abandoned her as she never even received a letter from the man. Vikram approaches her again and pleads with her to marry him, but she refuses, claiming her heart belongs to one man. That night, in a fit of rage, Vikram tells her the truth of why Raj will never return as he killed him. Heartbroken, Neha slaps him. Vikram, not being able to handle the rejection, grabs her by the hair and pushes her into the well, claiming that if he can't have her, no one can. In the present, Vikram approaches Rahul and confesses about everything he's done, and being the lord of the village claims that he's going to kill him and nobody will be able to do anything about it. Ah, the villain monologue, because no one can resist revealing their evil plans right before attempting murder. Classic move Vikram, classic move. A lengthy fight commences, and both of them match each other stride for stride. As Vikram is about to push Rahul into the well, he slips and falls in himself. Rahul tries his best to save him, but Neha uses this opportunity to finally get her revenge. A white cloth wraps around his leg and pulls him into the water, finally ending his evil wrath. Karma's a real drag, Vikram. Guess you should have skipped leg day at the ghost gym. That's all folks, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.